Watch the next video. Watch the next video. Watch the next video. No, I'm just joking, family. Family, thank you for joining us. Be sure to catch us on the next video, family. Peace. Watch the next video. Watch.
The drum speaks. Through the spirit of the African drum, and in the ancient African tradition of our forefathers and foremothers, we look to the heavens and we respectfully ask our ancestors to shine down upon us and give us permission to begin today's program celebrating Kwanzaa. The water represents life, the fluidity and resilience of the human spirit as life flows through Father Time and space. The plant represents Mother Earth, the bearer, the womb, and the nurturer of life. This beloved third planet is home of humanity and the majesty of God's creation, His divinity, and intelligent design. So, in the tradition of our African ancestors, we pour libations to recognize these truths as self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that the past, the present, and the future are connected by one God and one love. For in the word liberation itself, there is the word libation, the nomo.
Ashe.
We call upon the ancestors far and near, mothers of our mothers and fathers of our fathers, to give us strength and courage and to remind us of their love and their sacrifice, so that we might continue the struggle for human dignity, liberation, and freedom. For they knew the human spirit was born to be free. So we look to the heavens for a reminder of their shining light and guiding example of love, wisdom, compassion, and courage for all humanity. As we pour libation, the collective response is Ashe, which means it is done. You are invited to participate with us in the ancient African tradition of call and response and say Ashe. First, in honor of the Creator, we pour libation. We recognize the omnipotence of the Creator of all things and all life, and we honor His covenant with us, His people, and all His creations, the birds and the animals, the plants and the trees, the blue sky and the rain, the sun and the moon, Mother Earth itself, and we the people who are blessed to call it home. We pour libation.
Ashe.
And let the people say Ashe. In the honor and memory of our ancestors, we pour libations for those who were the first of God's creations, the original man and the original woman, birthed in the motherland Africa, and the great civilizations they created and innovated that laid the foundation for the rest of human history, culture, and discovery. And to those who were destined to lead, to guide, and to rule for thousands of years. We pour libation for those like warrior queen Hatshepsut, for the great pharaoh Akhenaten, for beautiful and regal queen Nefertiti,
Ashe.
for Pharaoh Ramses II, for Hannibal of Carthage, King Mansa Musa, and the brilliant scholar Imhotep, for regal queen Nzinga and warrior queen Amina, for the boy king Tutankhamun and the warrior king Shaka Zulu, for the great civilizations of Songhai and Mali and Egypt and Nubia, Ethiopia and Benin. Just a few ancient examples and reminders of the glorious spirit of humanity that still resides in us today. In their memory, in their honor, we pour libation. And the people say, Ashe.
Ashe.
We pour libations for those who crossed the Middle Passage and came to America and went throughout the diaspora and Caribbean. We came to foreign lands in bondage, the worst, evil, vile, ungodly, and insidious colonization and slavery in human history. We must never forget the past, the hardships, the struggles, the resurrection, the love, and the victories as we celebrate Kwanzaa.
Ashe.
For our ancestors who crossed the Middle Passage, for those who would jump from slave ships rather than to live in bondage, we pour libation.
Ashe.
For our ancestors who crossed the Middle Passage, for those who were persecuted and enslaved but continue to fight, to survive, to thrive, to pray, to hope, and to work for a better future against all odds, we pour libation. And for those who were shot, lynched, and killed for righteous insurrection on slave ships and on the plantation,
Ashe.
we pour libation. We pour libations for those like Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, and Marcus Garvey. Those whose love, leadership, and sacrifice are acknowledged and applauded in human history for making their mark and striking a blow against slavery and oppression and for liberation and freedom.
Ashe.
We pour libations for our more recent ancestors, those like Rosa Parks,
Ashe.
Malcolm X, Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth, Fannie Lou Hamer, Muhammad Ali, Huey Newton, Stokely Carmichael, and Dr. Martin Luther King. Those who led the civil rights movement and those who led the Black Power movement, both working hand in glove for Pan-African and African-American liberation and freedom.
Ashe.
We pour libations in memory of the casualties of racial and criminal injustice and police brutality. For those like Emmett Till, Abner Louima, Sean Bell, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Walter Scott, Freddie Gray, Philando Castile, Tamir Rice, Timothy Thomas, Sandra Bland, Sam Du Bois, Trayvon Martin, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and so many others. May they rest in peace.
Ashe.
We pour libations. We pour libation for those in our own beloved families, for those ancestors who have gone on, and to those elders, those mothers and fathers, grandmothers and grandfathers, all precious souls who are still here, still loving, still educating, still praying, and still leading by example with wisdom, dignity, and grace. Call their names, evoke their names, and remember them. Thank them, appreciate them, honor them. We pour libation for them.
Ashe.
And finally, we pour libation for our collective future, our beloved progeny, our sons and daughters, and the sons of our sons and the daughters of our daughters, on the continent, in America, and throughout the diaspora. Our faith is bigger than our fears. Our love is strong and everlasting. And our hope for the next 1,000 years rises higher than the struggles of the past 400. Today, we celebrate Kwanzaa.
Ashe.
Ashe,
Ashe.
Ashe,
Ashe.
Ashe.
everybody, if I can have my elders in the community, by elders I mean 55 and over. If you are an elder in this room tonight, we're going to ask if you could sit in the front rows. In the front row. We know the value of our elders in the community. We know the wisdom that they carry. We know that the teachings that they give. And so we want to honor them this evening by asking you to sit in the front row. And before we begin our program, I'd like to ask for permission to continue our program this evening from our elders. May I have permission to continue our program?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Abarigani. Thank you. That is our formal greeting to say what is the news. Today's news is Ujamaa, which is collective work and responsibility. Our theme of the year for our Kwanzaa celebration is celebrating the Nguzo Saba, which is the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. So everything that we've done in organizing this program and coming together is to honor those 7 principles.
So one of our rituals that we do is to pour libations. And if I can have our presenters to come to pour libations. So libations is a ritual of pouring of a liquid of an offering to the gods or spirits in the memories of those who passed on. So we'll have 2 of our elders from our community present us with libations.
Permission from my colleague of elders to continue in libation. Libation, what is it? First of all, because we know a lot of people think libation is a lot of different things. And most oftentimes the things that we think it is, it's not. So what a libation is basically an opportunity for us as a community to honor the ancestors, to honor the Creator first of all. Because the Creator is the quintessential thing that connects every living thing on the planet. And so we want to first acknowledge the Creator because life flows from the Creator, the Mother and Father Spirit. We also want to acknowledge the fact that there are those of us who have gone on into the ancestral world that laid down foundations for us, that created civilizations and those kinds of things, that have prepared a way for us so that we can follow that. So what libation does is acknowledgement of that. And we use some symbols to make that happen. One of the symbols that we use is with the Kukombi Chawumoja cup. We have water in here, which is symbolic of the spirit. Because we know every living thing needs water to survive. Ashe? Everything. And so we use the water to represent spirit. And the plant represents Mother Earth, from which all of us have come. And so we use the earth and connecting the spirit to the earth, and it's held by the female because she represents the earth. And as we pour this libation, we want to think about all the things that we're talking about in the libation. And it is a ritual. So being a ritual, we ask everyone to please stand. Think about what I just said and the concept of this libation. There's so many of our ancestors that have gone on, that have done some phenomenal things for us to follow. So as we begin to think about this, let's take a moment to just meditate on all those people who have contributed to who you are today, whose footsteps you follow today, whose path you're following today, whose history you're remembering today. And as we do this, the ceremonial aspect of the ritual is that we pour water into the plant after each affirmation. And when we say an affirmation, we want to say Ashe. And Ashe is just a word that means amen. To some it means it is so. To some it means I heard that. To some it's right on. Some is Ashe. Ashe?
Ashe.
So when we talk about the libation, we're pouring the water into the plant, and we give that affirmation. We want you all to acknowledge that by saying, Ashe.
Ashe.
So we first begin by pouring libation to the Creator of the universe, of the worlds, who all life and energy comes from. It's known by many names to many people. And so the one that you name, that you know, we want to acknowledge that Creator by saying Ashe.
Ashe.
We also want to pour libation to the ancestors. The ancestors are those people who have created paths for us to follow, whose steps we're walking in. These are folks who've gone, who've made their transition. But we remember them by calling their names forward. We remember them by putting up pictures in our house. We remember them by telling stories of them in our family gatherings. We remember them and we keep them alive in our presence when we do these things. And so we want to pour libation to our ancestors.
Ashe.
We want to also pour libation to what we call our elders. These folks that you see sitting on the front row, this gray on their faces and hair is not there by accident. They weren't painted today. This is years and years of struggle and of commitment and of love and of patience and of testimony. These are the individuals who have sacrificed so that we can be where we are today, in this present day, in this present time. We say Ashe to them.
Ashe.
To our nation builders, those of you who are in the struggle right now, you fight every day for your families. You go to work hard. You struggle. You pay those bills. You continue to struggle. You follow after those who laid the path down before you. You talk to the elders to get wisdom and insight. We know your struggle is tough because we've been there. And we're here for you. And we want you to know that as elders, we're always going to be here for you. We pour libations to you. Continue your work and struggle.
Ashe.
To the youth, and we have many of them here today, our young people, we know that they are us to come, right? So we don't want to just look over them when they're in our presence. We don't want them to just to be seen and not heard. We want to talk to them. Find out what their dreams and their aspirations are. Find out who they're connected to because they could possibly be connected to you. We want to talk to them. Share with them things that's going to help them be successful in their path. We say Ashe.
Ashe.
And then for those who have yet to be unborn, they are coming, and we are making ways for them. It is said in some traditions that when an elder dies, a library burns, and that elder transitions on, and a new life comes and takes its place, right? So you think about that as we are missing people in this season of missing people, and those folks who are carrying children in their womb right now. They're coming to replace some of the energy and the spirit that has been going on.
Ashe.
And this time we want to just think about, as you thought about earlier, those individuals who represent your history, your culture, your past. By name, we want to call them out today. Just say them out loud so that we will remember them in this particular ritual. Any of them, call them out.
Arthur Williams.
Arthur Williams.
Carl Jackson.
John Henry Clark.
Jackson.
Jennifer Armstrong.
Bueller Nolan.
Ashe.
Ed Davis.
Helen Arnold.
Ashe.
Quindale McClintock.
Ashe.
Harold
Aman
Stubbs.
Afuru.
Ernest Ujamaa.
My name is Raul Schumann. I'm a member of Kwanzaa House of Toledo. I've been asked by the ancestors to perform a tambiko, which is libation in Kiswahili. This tambiko is dedicated to our youth, who are the promise of our future, as represented by Black Lives Matter. It's also dedicated to our people, who are the original people, in hopes that we will regain our lost knowledge of self. It's also dedicated to our struggle, and to those who have struggled before us on our behalf, particularly our ancestors. And this tambiko underscores umoja, which is unity or oneness, which should guide us in all that we do. This tambiko will be from beginning to end. We recognize Minis, Narmer, Zoser, Kufu, Kafra, Menkaura, Pepi, Mentu Hotep, Amin Hemet, Tutmosis, Queen Hatshepsut, Amenhotep, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, Queen Tiye, Queen Karamoja.
Do you care? Do you care? Your life matters to me. Does my life matter to you? If your life matters to you, wear the mask for me. It could save for you. Your life matters to me. Does my life matter to you? If your life matters to you, wear the mask for me. It could save for you. Your life matters to me. Does my life matter to you? If your life matters to you, wear the mask for me. It could save for you. Your life matters to me. Does my life matter to you? If your life matters to you, wear the mask for me. It could save for you. Fall back and check yourself. Fall back and check yourself. Fall back and check yourself. Fall back and check yourself.
Good evening. I'm doing my initiation into the Thai family village. And the principle I'm going to speak on for Kwanzaa. Ujamaa is a concept first into Kwanzaa by the president of Julius Nyerere in Tanzania. During the time he was president, he used this principle as a cooperative economic principle to unite the country and unite the villages into agricultural success. The principle in general works for everyone. It's a cooperative and collective economic principle that works in the United States today. We at Thai Village employ this principle amongst ourselves, Africans in this country, and African Americans in this country. My name is Sapphire Mahdi, and I'm from the tribe of Inawe Akobin. It is a unique word meaning the elder, nation builders, and the warriors. Akobin is a call to duty, a call to action. And so this tribe is called Inawe Akobin.